February is Black History Month. Black History Month has its origins in 1915 when historian and author Dr. G. Carter Woodson founded the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History. This organization is now known as the Organization of African American Life and History. Through this organization, Dr. Woodson initiated the first Negro History Week in February 1926. Dr. Woodson selected the week in February that included the birthdays of Abraham Lincoln and Frederick Douglass, two key figures in the history of African Americans. March is Women's History Month. The history of Women's Day. This was first celebrated on March 19, 1911, now celebrated every 8th of March. Women celebrate the date that represents equality, justice, peace, and development. International Women's Day is rooted in the struggle of women seeking to participate on equal footing with men. International Women's Day is March 8th. Happy Women's Month. Welcome to This Is Your Spotlight, Season 2, Episode 1. I am back. Yes. And I am back with dynamic guests. Today we're going to be talking about podcasting, a film festival. We're going to be talking about vending. We're going to be talking about branding, acting, skit comedians. And we're going to have a good time while we do it, folks. Yes, we are. And today's guest is Marc Reign. I am Black Rose, Ninoska Carolina, and Aaron Smith from Aaron Smith Can't Lose. Stay tuned, hold on, and enjoy the show. I'll see you at the end.
No. Send the radio.
So I am here with, the dynamic, the ever-evolving Marc Reign. If you don't know him, you should know him. I'll tell you that for sure. He's done films like, that I've seen. He's done Ava Adore, which is kind of interesting. It's a sci-fi film. It was done by Gilded Harper Productions. So he was the lead actor in it. If you have not seen it, you should see it. It's on Amazon Prime. Shameless plug.
Yes, make sure it's Anna Adore.
Anna Adore. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I thought of the Smashing
okay.
Pumpkins song. My bad.
That's okay. Anna Adore. ANA. What's up? I love that. The ever evolving. I love that. That is
Yes, exactly.
totally good.
You don't know what he's doing next. He's done a stage play. He has been on a web series. Yeah. And he's done short films. Oh, and he even did something called Super Blocks. That was at the New York Latino Film Festival in 2021.
Yeah, the New York Latino and the official Latino Film Festival. We won our best feature film, actually.
Nice.
Super Black. So I'm like super hyped about that. Super hyped about that.
Yes, and of course, he is the brand spokesperson for a few brands. So, all right. Now that I gave you the best introduction I could with what I know, sir.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
And welcome to the show. So, in terms of acting and branding, what when they present the project to you, what do you see in it? Do you see it as an opportunity? Like, what are your, do you see yourself like, I can do it or I can't do it? Do you ever have moments like that with any project?
Yeah, definitely. There's like a mental screening process in my head about the projects that I take on. Because ultimately you gotta, especially me, like when I dedicate my time to something, I give my all. I go 100%, and so I want to make sure that I believe in what it is I'm giving myself to. So it depends on the project, depends on the purpose. Honestly, it's all about purpose. With Super Blocked, for example, is a comedy about a Latino that entrepreneur. He's an entrepreneur trying to help his mom from being evicted. Comes up with a funny concept, business concept. To be a professional cock blocker. You know what I mean? Like that is hilarious to me. I love comedy. I've never seen that, and I love that it's a Latino entrepreneur. And what I love about the film is that, it's filled with Latinos. It's made by Latinos. It's led by Latinos. But
Right.
the film doesn't have anything to do with being Latino. You see, it's not like there's not like heavy cultural moments where it's like, this is what it's like, to be Puerto Rican or any other, you know,
Yeah.
um,
Hmm. I get
culture.
you.
Where
I get you.
I
'Cause that's
feel
where we make a mistake sometimes. You know what I mean?
like that's what I mean. I think that's where
Hmm.
while we're still banging on Hollywood's doors, trying to get in, is because every time we get a chance to make something, we want to like show our culture, instead of focusing on the story. You see, and that's what I care about when I'm joining a project. What's the story? Because we have to just be human. We have to just be storytellers,
Hmm.
and let that be relatable. You see, I'm Puerto Rican, right, and a little bit Peruvian, or whatever I am in the film, right? Like, then that's what I am. If I'm a secret agent, then I'm just a secret agent. It's not I'm a secret agent, and in the film, it's known, and it's a thing that I'm a Puerto Rican secret agent. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be that. Just be the secret agent. Just be the thing.
Hmm.
You'll represent. It'll be itself. You know what I mean? But so for me, it's all about the story and purpose. What are we doing this for? What's the goal for it? And what's the story? I want to tell like original things. I want to tell fun things because this is also entertainment. There's a lot of projects I have lined up that are going to be like perspective, showing different worlds that maybe the average person won't ever see, or know about unless you dive into that world, which could be dangerous,
This is true.
and things like that. Like it's just got to be. It has to make sense.
Hmm. I loved you on the web series Dominican York. Your character was so
Yeah.
funny because it was just like he was times comic relief, and that's what I
Right.
liked about it.
Yeah.
Like he's like, oh, this well, if you haven't seen Dominican York, look it up on YouTube.
Yes. Check out
Um,
the Dominican York. Shout out to Mitchie. Shout out
yes.
to just any of the sisters. They put that to West. That's a whole female led production. Camera producers. They all everything's females, and that's another reason why I joined that project. And it's funny because I'm Puerto Rican, but I play a Dominican on the show.
Hey,
And
look at In the Heights.
I mean, yeah, no, but you know, I love my Dominican people. I love everyone in general. The Caribbean, though, I kind of hold this a little tighter, just because that's where we're all from, and so it's great that is we're finishing up season 2, and I can't wait for that. Go check out season 1.
No, but what I liked about it is just the way you express yourself and the like the attention to detail that you put to it, that your facial expressions were like matching in terms of like this party's a sausage, but it's basura. I'm just
Yeah, is that
basura. I was like, yo, this guy's great. It's like I wish I knew
it?
somebody
Thank
like
you.
this. Like if I was at a whack party, it was just like, you know what?
Right.
Thank you so much. I didn't want to say it, but thank you. Now please take me out of here so I can go somewhere else.
Is that
That's it.
Because this party's Bassett. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
My Sheetox. Dead ass? You drinking my last Sheetox?
Oh, babe, I'm not gonna lie, this tea is pretty dope.
Who said you could have the last of my dope Sheetox?
Hey, relax, here, have some. There it is, a little bit more.
I feel so much better.
I don't even know why you tripping, babe, because you know they sent us a whole nother box. Oh, you know they came through with the whoo. Even got the little, you know.
I'm sorry I get like that. I get all honky. I'm gonna go drink my tea, okay?
Oh, wait, and before you leave, this is yours too. Forgot, they sent this. I had to try it out for you. It works, here. Really works. Probably lost like 10 pounds while I was waiting for you.
It's dripping wet.
Enjoy it.
So, today's guest is I Am Black Rose. If you do not know who she is, check out La Factoria, check out her commercials that she's done. She's even done for Get Adjusted Now. She's done for Dope Sheetox. Let's see. What other commercials have you not done?
Oh my God,
Rose.
The Instagram promo world. Oh my God, we promoted so many different people. Shout out to like everybody that supports us. I feel like we are the new commercials. We are the new interactive way to promote your business. Use a comedian or an influencer. Usually the ones that are comedians like us, because we're funny and we can like get your product out there.
That's true. That's true. So you would, okay, if you had to describe any label that you would be like, I could work with this, but I could stretch the label out. You think you're a comedian influencer type.
Well,
What would you
I don't even like being called an influencer. Like you don't notice that you're influencing people because the word influencer now means something so watered down. That it's not like the same meaning, but I am definitely first and foremost see myself as a writer, an actress. I do music. I don't box myself in. I'm someone that loves the arts. So everything that kind of has to correlate with art, I have a passion for it. I love to dance. I love to sing. I love to just be out there interacting with people just as much as sometimes I need my quiet time and my me time. So I do a little bit of everything to find that balance for my world, create my perfect world.
Mm-hmm. No, and you have to nowadays, especially with everything being that there's so much, like, we're just overloaded. Even social media itself seems like, yes, I'm interacting with people, but then there's even times that you gotta take a break from social media.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? Get back to it. I woke up this morning, I saw it was there. I'm gonna turn that off.
You gotta just take your breaks. You don't necessarily have to announce them. But definitely take your breaks and give yourself time. Like I think as a creative, I say this a lot in a lot of different interviews. It's okay to be still because during that stillness, you get to find your creativity. You're not overthinking anything. You're finding that you time and see what inspires you naturally instead of it being forced.
Yeah, this is true. I feel like nowadays it's like you could get into writer's block if you're trying to write something, or like when you have those moments of like brain fog and you're just like, dang. And then sometimes, even like ever so often, being that you're constantly grinding, constantly producing and doing content, sometimes people get depressed and they don't want to talk about it because they don't even know.
You can get down. Listen, where everybody is a person, everybody's human, and everybody deals with things differently. Especially, I think comedians. I think we use our comedy as part of our therapy sessions. It's something that at least we do have the gift of being able to do that, but everybody's struggling out here the same way that someone with money is struggling. There's so much other forces and energies out there. Like the world is a little different right now. I think people might not notice, but I think it is affecting all of us one way or another. It depends on you how you handle all of that.
No, it's true. It's very, very true. So, okay. Um, let's break it down to, okay. So, en la factoría, your role in la factoría is, oh, in case for those of you who don't know, la factoría is literally the Latinx or Latino version of The Office. So, if you're a fan of The Office, you will find yourself liking la factoría. You guys have done a lot of good content, and it's also on YouTube. Shameless plug for you guys.
Yes, La Factoria TV on YouTube. Watch season 1 right now and stay tuned. Season 2 por ahí viene. I hope we start recording soon.
So today's guest is someone that I've known for the last, I like to say, 15 years. She has done everything and anything. If you have not been to one of her events or her film festival, shame on you. You should have gone. Concho. They're good times. Okay? The one and the only Ninoska. Oh, no, Niska.
As you call me.
Yes. Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay. So, welcome to the show, and thanks for being on the show.
Oh, thank you for inviting me. I was waiting my turn, patiently waiting. I was like, oh my God, when is she going to invite me?
No, of course.
I didn't want to overstep.
The person who motivated me to do the show, too. You were like, you know,
yeah, totally. You have good questions. And I think that doing those IG lives, I really got you into this.
I was going to say that. Shameless plug, IG lives.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, man, she's good. Yeah. I think it made you like calm the nerves a little bit and give you that extra push that, you know, sometimes people need to like get things done. Yeah.
So, all right. So right now you've been doing a few events. The last event you did was at Bronxlandia. If you don't know what Bronxlandia is, look it up. But the address I heard is 910 Hunts Point Avenue.
Yes. Yes. And, so it's go ahead. It's a building, a historical building that's been part of the South Bronx for over 100 years at this point. It used to be the waiting room for the train station nearby. And then of course it shut down and then it opened up again. If you've ever been inside, you will see like the visual that I'm trying to give you. It was like little shops. So there was like a tax place, like someone, you know, back in the days when you used to go somewhere to book your flights, right? A travel agency. At one point it was a strip club. So with, you know, a bar. So it closed down and the new owners, they want to have an event space in the South Bronx. And so when this this venue became available, they jumped on it and now they're trying to really like change the history of the venue, of the space, into something much more positive. And that's where, you know, there's been a few screenings there, you know, a few more events. There's been a few things going on there, and you know, it's on the right path to something great. So I'm part of being able to do like a pop-up there. And maybe I'll do some more other events. Yeah.
This is true. No, but you know what? The building, the Bronxlandia, I think it's awesome that it did that. But it just shows that New York City in general, when it comes to building things, it's amazing how they really want to just make it a multi-mixed use.
Yes.
You know, so I think that's great. And it's admirable that that's the direction they want to go into.
Yes, indeed.
Also, you did a couple pop-ups with local businesses throughout the South Bronx, like American Grill,
yes,
Coco Pastel Bakery. You also did the Mott Haven Bar and Grill, even the Bronx Native. You actually did pop-ups.
Yeah.
For those of you who do not know what a pop-up is, that's when a vendor shows up and sells their merchandise. And it goes to
Yeah.
worthy cause.
Right.
Shameless, announcer
Shameless plug
narration.
for like all the pop-up vendors out there that are doing their thing. Yeah, so a pop-up is basically for micro businesses, meaning that the business has like just the one person, the owner, right? Or like under 5 people as staff, if you want to call them that, more like voluntoads or volunteers, right? Voluntoads, like, hey, you're coming to help me. It's usually a family affair, like it's like the cousin, the sister, the best friend, like helping out with that, right? And so I have been fortunate to participate in many pop-ups and also flea markets and farmers markets. So it's definitely something that is up and coming. And I went from being a vendor to actually organizing them myself. And it's a nice transition. I feel much more comfortable organizing them, but sometimes it is nice to just like show up and be a vendor and then pack up and go and not have to deal with all of the behind the scene logistics. So
Right.
yeah. Mm-hmm. Film festival was an idea that I had back late summer of 2019. I was actually headed to LA with my sister, the filmmaker of the family. And while we're in that plane, waiting for LA, I had asked her, is there a film festival in the Bronx, right? It's just like, hey, is there a film festival in the Bronx? It was, very out of the blue. And her reply basically was, I don't know. I never heard of one. And that like ignited a fire in me. And I was like, well, if there isn't one, like we need to change that, right? And then that was like the end of that particular conversation. But I tell you that once I landed, I was already like, oh my God, I'm Googling, Bronx film festivals, Bronx-based film festivals, like anything that I can think of with Google. And I wasn't happy with the responses that I was getting. So once we came back, it was like I was on. And then of course I know nothing about the film industry, right? So except for what a gaffer and bolo is, but I I knew you, right, from college, from CCNY, whoop whoop, right? And you were a film major at one point. And then there's like I have a very distinctive memory of me and you being in, I guess, the editing room.
Yes.
And you were like editing your film, and I was like, oh my God, I'm just like looking at all these buttons and stuff. Like, oh my God, this is so cool. But of course, my major was communications, so that was that. So I knew right away that I would need a strong staff because I know nothing. And that's when, of course, it was like, I remember like on the plane, I'm like, okay, I need to contact Eurydice. Like you were like the first person that I thought of. And of course it was because of your very impressive resume of being in many film festivals. So it was a no-brainer. And if anything, I was the lucky one that I knew you, that I had like a very reliable source. And so yeah, so that was that. And then by January 2020, you were on board. Of course, my sister was on board, and then me, and we just started tackling. And the next thing you know, COVID happened, which was a definite.
You did it.
180.
Did it.
I mean, I like to say we did it. I don't like to say I did it because it wasn't just me, Like, of course, the insight that you gave was phenomenal, right? And there's some of the things are still applied to this day. So I can't even say like, I came up with these things, right? Like, it's just how it is, right? Based on your experience. And then of course I still have my sister as the community director, as the film committee director. And and then those things are also like set in their ways, but it's a team effort. And then I know that you're always available, more of a consulting, right? Versus like your initial role. But overall, like I think it's great, that I was able to like hash this out during the pandemic and then have sold out shows during the first year of the pandemic and then having more sold out shows during the second year of the pandemic. So now this year, I hope the pandemic is gone, but I do hope that I still get the sold out shows. Like I hope that doesn't go away.
No. Of course,
Yeah,
no.
exactly. Yeah.
No, but to be honest with you, in terms of film festivals, uh, it's its own creature. It's a lot of work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's a lot of networking. So much
Mm-hmm.
networking and so much like you do this, I do that, and but it's a community thing, and that's what
Yeah.
I admire about the film festival community. Like the friends you make out of film festival, for some reason, they end up being your friends for life somehow.
Yeah, right,
It's
of
so
course.
interesting.
I
Hold
can
on,
imagine.
Espera un momento, hold on. Let me pause.
52
Yeah.
degrees. It was nice. It was a little rainy, a little, crazy out there. It wasn't that bad. But then the next day, boom, snowstorm. And then boom, today another snowstorm. I'm like, how much dandruff does God got up there? Seriously. But anyway. My grandmother used to say, angels are having pillow fights. Well, quite honestly, God needs to put them on timeout. Jesus needs to be like, hey, hey, calm it down. But, it just gets in the way. And then, you got people here don't like to shovel and, black ice. And then you get lawsuits. And then they want to get mad. That's my problem.
Hi, welcome back. Yes. This is your spotlight. This is season 2, episode 1. I am here with the interesting, always eccentric, never duplicated, one of a kind person that I've ever met. I'll tell you that much. Mr. Aaron Smith from the podcast Aaron Smith Cannot Lose. Woo!
Thank you very much.
So, today you grace us with your presence here at This Is Your Spotlight. So, okay, what motivated you to start with a podcast? Because podcasts now, I think in the last about 5 to 10 years, have really taken on a life of their own. So what made you decide to get into the podcasting game?
Well, I needed an outlet to do my shows and promote them and basically to get them over. And, to have social media is pretty much everything nowadays. So I thought that it would be a good idea. And I just probably needed just like a break from like doing stand up as well. And it was just a way to just, run my mouth and not get in too much trouble. So I figured, yeah, why not? And like everybody else doing this stuff. And I found about the app. It's simple. You just record on your phone, and it was very easy, very simple. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was pretty cool. But before I actually did things on the phone, I actually was in an actual studio recording downtown. I believe it was like Water Street. This was several years ago. That was like the first season of Aaron Smith Can't Lose. Mm-hmm. And eventually I transferred over to doing it over the phone and the app, which is pretty cool.
Well, that's true. Okay, how many seasons are you in now?
I just wrapped up season 4
okay.
2 weeks ago. I'm planning on going on season 5. I didn't think I actually would have a season 5. There was a couple of times where I decided I just didn't want to be bothered, but I figured why not? Because like I said, that's the whole premise of Aaron Smith Can't Lose. Because I feel like, I don't have anything to lose. That's why I titled it that podcast. Also, if you're familiar with the 90s sitcom show Parker Lewis Can't Lose, that's where I pretty much got it from as well. But yeah, that's season 5, probably February,
Okay.
because it's kind of like Black History Month, so I kind of try to do it like that. So I
Right.
go over it there, and should be cool. Should be fun. Can't wait.
Well, that's good. At least you have 5 seasons. I'm still stuck on season 2, bro.
Oh, don't rush it. Like I said,
I
you
know.
know, great things come to those who wait, and I mean, it's really like I try to not do too many episodes a season. So usually it's around 10, maybe 12 episodes a season, kind of like how they do like TV shows. So I kind of like did my thing from that. Other than that, like I said, just equal at the time. Like I said, you said you do season 2, which is great. Season 1, I've heard great things about it, and like I said, I'm looking forward to season 2, and I'm happy to be here on your first episode of season 2. So I'm really excited. I started with I'm a comic, so I started with like having comics on my show, and we will plug our shows for like the next week or the week coming after, or I would have them come on and promote their shows or their podcasts or whatever like that, and I would just basically just collab with them, and that's how I pretty much grew my network, and it was kind of cool to just basically just like be not in a setting where it's always like you have to just talk jokes and host and do all these extra things that can get a little nuts at times. But it's like I like the podcasting because it's laid back, it's very chill, and like I said, I didn't think I'd be doing 5 seasons, but here I am. So like I said, it's been interesting ride so far.
True. So in terms of comics, would you care to name drop a few that you've worked with or that have been on the show?
Oh, absolutely. No one really, I guess, too famous. I've been doing this around off and on about 10 years. But shout out to Ron Barber, who's a great guy. He's very awesome. Lisa Harmon, who ran Lisa's Clubhouse down in the village for many years. She's great. Oni Francis, who's going to be one of my hosts for the show coming up this Friday on 28th. Nicole Spain, who is also going to be a co-host. She's a great girl. She's very funny, very hilarious. And Jeffrey Frazier, who also is a high school friend of mine. I've known him for over 10 years. We went to Martin Luther King High School down there in Lincoln Center, and that very funny guy, very blunt, very direct, very hilarious gentleman. And he also has a podcast as well, known as the Black Wall Street Chronicles. You can also check that out as well.
Right.
And yeah, so shout out to all of them.
Oh wow, dang, that's a lot of work. That's a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely. The ones that like me still.
It's okay. I don't know. I think you're all right, just in case. So
I try to be. I do what I can. I'm a human. So they say. So
as a person in the media, because you do either comedy, that's a medium unto itself, and then now you're doing it podcasting, and that's another medium of expression. What's the freedom you have comparison? Like, for example, me, I'm doing television, and I'm not gonna lie, there is some constraints and restraints of things that can or cannot be shown. But then again, it's a tougher world in terms of TV. I'm not gonna lie, it's very demanding. What more freedoms have you found in the mediums that you're currently doing?
Well, the good thing about podcasting is if you mess up, if you do anything, you can always stop and delete it or re-record. Or, like I said, I use the Anchor app. That basically is for podcasting, and I've been using that for about over a year now. It's very cool. You just use it on your phone, and you basically talk into the phone. You can invite people on the show as well. I so that I like that freedom. Basically, like if you mess up or you don't do something or you say something that you probably don't want it to say. Not that's not me, but still, like you have that option. Unlike not stand up, is like most of the time when it's stand up, it's live, it's in front of people.
Right.
It's you got to be on the fly, you got to be very quick and all that stuff. That you have your set, but sometimes you may forget things. You may like not necessarily do everything or have every joke come out or what have you like that. So you kind of ad lib and stuff like that. But also like on podcasts, I noticed that I can pretty much do the same thing, but it's more relaxed. It's more like laid back. So I definitely enjoy it. I like comedy too, but podcasting seems a lot more fun. Just a little bit.
No, okay, in terms of you've had how many comedy sets have you done within the last like 10 years?
Oh
Is it once a year,
wow.
once every 6 months, or once every couple years?
Well, I just recently started coming back. I took about a 2 or 3 year hiatus,
Okay.
to just take care of my personal life things that's going on. But everything is fine now. But when I was doing that in those 3 years, I was doing a show like every month.
Wow.
So like I guess it was like about maybe like 6 shows a year, and during those 6 shows, I would have about 10 comics come on the show, and we're usually around an hour, hour and a half, and it was at multiple venues. I performed at Broadway Comedy Club down at 53rd and 8th. I performed at Rodney Dangerfield's Comedy Club down on First Avenue. I've done that. That's no longer here, but I did perform before it closed. I've been at Stand Up NY, 78th and Broadway.
Right.
I've been pretty much everywhere, But
have you done the comic strip live?
No, I haven't got to them yet, but eventually, hopefully, I will. Like I said, it's a tough racket, it's a tough business.
Well, I'm saying because I had to sell comedy tickets for one summer with them.
Oh yeah, that's a drag too. Like like I said, it's not what you know; it's like pretty much who you know. And when you sell certain tickets, if you have to get the gab, if you know how to sell people, then it's a lot easier. But it's really hard. I've done it as well. I'm continuing to do it. Like I said, with the show coming up on Friday. But yeah, comedy. I'll get there. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
No,
Maybe we'll see.
yeah. Have you ever had any hecklers when you're on stage?
Oh yes, but they usually have. I haven't encountered any Karens yet, but usually when a crowd is very minimal or doesn't have a lot of people, they have certain comics that stay in the crowd, which they call them barkers. And there was one particular person who was a comic that was barking that day that got very belligerent and very, he was really too into his role, and I had to correct him in a nice way. And
you have to check him like, no, bro.
Yeah, I'm from Harlem, so I don't play that. No, I don't.
That's right.
No.
Shoot.
I know. So, but I was, it could have been worse. Could have been that nasty. But I didn't really see him again after that. So I guess that was pretty much it. I hope he's okay.
Oh my God. He's like, I hope he's all right. I hope he ain't missing.
Oh, I didn't do nothing to you. I don't know like that. Shoot. Maybe check somebody else off. Who knows?
I don't claim to know what I do.
Nope, I don't know nothing. I'm blind. See, I'm wearing glasses, so there you go.
Yeah. I gotta fix my prescription. People are starting to look like dots, maybe at this point.
Right. All of a sudden, I'm doing I'm developing the Stevie Wonder. I don't know nothing.
La 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 la. What's this thing called? So, you have 5 seasons, and you just got back into comedy.
Right.
I think that's actually amicable. Actually, not amicable. I admire that because um, I, I have a little bit of stage fright. Yeah, talkative me has stage fright, and yeah.
Hmm. I'm gonna let you on a secret. I've had stage fright for years, and I always continue, and I will. Oh, I think I'll have it till I'm no longer on here. But I've always dealt with stage fright. My trick is
Mm.
it's not about seeing people naked. All that. That's nonsense. That doesn't work. The
So,
key thing
folks,
is
please
when
do
you get
not
that.
do that when you're performing on set. Imagining people
Oh,
like
absolutely not.
in the undies do
Absolutely
not help
not.
you. You might
That's
have
just one.
somebody that you
That's
definitely don't want to imagine in the audience in that situation.
Oh, absolutely not. Not it'll be a nightmare on Elm Street. No, definitely not. But that's just something I've always saying I've heard. But like I said, what works for me basically is when I get that first laugh, hey, I got you. I got the crowd, and that pretty much tells me, okay, then I'm good to go. If I don't get that first laugh and I get a few chuckles or something like that, I want to continue going on it as well. And I just like to have fun. I think I enjoy myself, and I do consider myself a funny person. I've been wanting to do comedy since I was 5 years old.
Wow.
Um, I've always been entertaining my family for years. So I've just, it's something I wanted to do. It's one of my passion, my calling, or whatever you want to call it, like that. It's been a little rough, been a little annoying, but like I said, I'm still here, and
Hmm.
I'm trying my best.
No, and that's, sometimes that's the best outlook to have because sometimes,
Hmm.
things that we try in life, whatever it is, you might be like, you
Hmm.
know what? Like, ooh.
It was absolutely, and the thing is that you can't do that because this thing called jail, and we don't like those places.
Well,
So we
yeah,
try
of
to
course.
stop that. Like the outlets. Like I said, comedy and saying jokes and doing stand up. I personally play video games. That's a nice stress reliever as well. So and then you just take it out on the game
True.
instead of
So,
people.
what is the worst joke that you can possibly hear or tell?
Now in this politically correct world now, pretty much anything that's offensive. The problem is that, like I said, you have to
Hmm.
either say it with all your heart and all your conviction, or don't bother at all. Because the thing is, like I said, everything is not funny to everybody. Like everybody has a different sense of humor.
Right.
Everybody has their own perspective, and everybody likes what um like what I may think is funny, you may not think is funny, and vice versa. So if you want to talk about like the worst joke or stuff like that, I mean, okay, we can go to the Chappelle
Snafu.
the the what was it? Chappelle's last stand up. He
Right.
said something
Yes.
that was not very well. I thought it was funny personally. I thought it was hilarious. But what he said offended a certain group of people,
Right.
and
Right.
it came
Right.
to the point where he had a lot of backlash. But comedy is meant to be an outlet. Comedy is meant for you to get away from all your troubles and all of your
Right.
problems, all your
Facts.
things that are bothering with you, and it's meant to be out there. It's meant to be to the point where to outgoing and doing things like stuff like that. So if it comes to a point where that's constricted, then how funny can you truly be
True.
if you're doing this as a talent? And like I said, I have no problem with clean comedy. I don't have a problem with offensive comedy. I have a problem with any comedy because, like I said, at the end of the day, I'm a comic and I've seen it all. I've heard it all.
Right.
I've been to many open mics. I've heard everything. And there's a couple of some things that that me personally, I'm like, oh, I can't believe that person said that. But I kept that inside because I'm like, let's it's not that serious. Let's not go there. It is what it is. It's just supposedly a joke, so whatever.
No,
But
exactly.
yeah, that's I
Mm.
guess that's like I said, it's either you go all the way or not at all,
Mm-hmm. No pain, no gain.
pretty much.
Would you, okay, so in terms of, well, I'm glad you broke it down that way. Do you ever find yourself like, for example, I was watching a comedy roast of a comic who's no longer here, R.I.P. to that comic, and it got so bad he was actually using cue cards, like index cards,
I've
to
seen
tell his
that.
jokes.
I've actually had one person actually do that on my show, and I'm like, all right, fine, that's what you want to do. Okay, it's no problem.
Yeah, I don't know, like, how well does that go over? Because
I
I'm
don't
sorry.
recommend it for a live show, but if you're doing something like an open mic, if you're doing something where it's like in front of a bunch of comics and you're just trading jokes back and forth, that's fine. Usually, what I do is, like I said, I'll like I'll have the cue cards, I'll have the index cards, and like I'll like before I go on, I'll like say something. I'll memorize as much as I can because sometimes, let's just be real, you're not gonna remember everything. So like I said, sometimes if I do get caught in, in like where I don't remember something, I'll ad lib or I'll just go off to it, or like maybe I'll do go off the crowd or feed off the crowd and how they're feeling or how they joke and stuff like that. Because like everybody has their own shtick on anything like that. But me personally, like I said, I have a set. I try to stick to my set. But if I forget something, then it's like okay, then I'll just like go with something else. Or sometimes like I have like a lot of comedians like to use jokes that they've been using for years. I do that as well, so just in case, because sometimes some jokes are pretty much timeless and they can just keep going with them like that. But yeah, no index cards for me. No, not on the stage. No, definitely not. I can't do that. But if that's your thing, that's your thing.
No, yeah, of course. And last but not least, um, if you had to say your top 5 comics, who would they be?
Um, well, most of the comedians that I admire are no longer with us, but I will give you my top 5.
Okay.
I'm gonna start off with the guy I talked about earlier. I'll start with 5. I'll start with Dave Chappelle.
Number 5. Okay.
Number 4, Red Fox.
Yeah.
Number 3, Robin Harris. Number 2, Eddie Murphy. He's still with us. And then number 1 of all time, the greatest of all time to me and everybody else, Richard Pryor, the greatest of all. I guess an honorable mention would be George Carlin.
Yeah.
Because I do fast like it as well. But Richard is my guy. Like I know everybody bites off Richard Pryor.
It's true, and he had, to be honest, the long-lasting effect that Richard Pryor has had is amazing. The man's been made into a meme. The fact that he's so quotable that he's been made into a meme. My favorite phrase that he ever said was, I had Bill Cosby tell me one. It was just so funny that Eddie Murphy imitated Richard Pryor when Bill Cosby called Eddie Murphy about his language.
Yeah, that was on his second stand-up. Yeah, yes. I think that was Raw. Yeah, that was good.
I've seen Raw. I even have it on DVD.
Yeah.
What cracked me up was when he said, "You tell Bill that I said shut the have a Coke and a smile."
Right.
That Jello pudding
hilarious.
mofo.
Definitely hilarious. And the thing was that Richard and Bill actually were friends, and they were friends all the time, But yeah, I thought that was hilarious as well. But like I said, those are definitely my top 5 for sure.
So in terms of me, for my top 5, oh God, and I watch a lot of comedy. All right, well, for number 5 for me would be Sinbad. I like his version of clean comedy. He's a little out there.
Better of an actor than a comedian for me, but okay, that's cool.
No, like some of his comedy specials have been really funny. He said in one of them, he goes, "Marriage is like the military. You do more than most people do from 9 to 5." I was like, "Hey, yo," I was like,
that's about right. He has a point, definitely.
When he said that marriage is like the military.
I was married once, and that was about it. But yeah, definitely, he's right about that.
So, Chris Rock has his moments. He has a couple of good ones. He goes, "You got to look in the mirror and say this to yourself every day. F you. F your hopes, F your dreams, F everything you think this life was gonna bring you. Let's go out and make this person happy. I was like, okay. I said, all right, that's a good one. Dave Chappelle, of course, I could watch his comedy and just like straight up my face would be hurting.
Oh yeah, yeah. If I could put a thing on it, I believe he's this generation's Richard Pryor.
Yes.
He has that, that longevity, that, Chappelle's show is timeless and all his stand-ups are hilarious. So like I said, if I had to put it into, he is that generation. Like I said, I grew up with like Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, Red Fox, and so as well as he did. So I definitely would put him in as this generation's Pryor for sure, hands down.
Well, definitely for number 2, oh God, this is like a hard one for me.
Take your time.
Well, dang, there's like 3 that could be, oh God. Bernie Mac.
I mean, if it's a tie, you could say a tie.
Yeah, it was a tie. So Bernie was there. So Bernie for sure. It's a tie for me between Bernie and DL. DL Hewley, when he's on, he's on. He's good.
Bro, oh yeah, definitely.
When he's on, he's on.
Very political, but yeah, hilarious. Definitely.
Yeah. And the last one would be, well, everybody's gonna be like, really him?
But
Trevor Noah. I like him coming up now. I think he's cool.
I'm sorry, who's that?
Trevor Noah from The Daily Show.
Okay.
Brother. Yeah. He's had a couple of good comments.
Yes.
Listen, when he talked about that he went to this trip and there was a father and son and there was like a snake that came out and stuff, and all of a sudden he goes that the French people are making fun of him. Oh, you scared of a snake? And all of a sudden the charmer let the snake loose and it was like everybody was running and then it was funny. Like Son of Patricia was funny. Afraid of the Dark was funny. And I like his brand because he mixes a little bit of like, I don't know. It's for me. Not everybody can like him, so it happens.
Like I said, everybody has their people, and everybody says you have to, I guess, be respectful of people's preference and if you will. That's fine by me. Like I said, I've seen it all, I heard it all. It was kind of hard to put it in like top 5.
I know. I'm sorry.
Like I said, it's a tie. Like I said, George Carlin and Richard Pryor is right there, but Richard's right in front of George for sure. But I respect both of them because they're pretty much who I based my act on as
well. But George Carlin, tons of respect. For sure.
Timeless.
He's great. No, he was great.
I mean, his stuff still stands today, and he's been passed away for like over 10 years now. Mm-hmm. But his stuff is timeless, as well as Pryor's. So definitely, yeah.
Who he doesn't get enough credit, but the thing is he does way too much sometimes in terms because he's trying to do a little bit of everything and whatever he can do just to keep himself visible. John Leguizamo, like he puts on many hats, and that's the
good
thing.
Actor too.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and I'm just like, sometimes, dude, slow down. I understand you trying to fit in, get in when you can and fit in when you could, and you're just trying to get them dollars and support the family. I get it.
Get the money any way you can legally. But yeah, definitely,
Yeah, but some of his comedy shows.
He's very hilarious.
The Sexaholic was hilarious. The Pest was funny.
I like that.
And the one that he did, Latin History for Morons, it was funny, but it was educational too.
Oh, okay.
And I actually
gotta check that out. Okay.
Yeah. Cool. What I like about it is that he He has a whole set and he uses the props. So it's not like it's just a typical dark stage, a stool and everything. No, he actually like utilizes the chalkboard and starts saying all this other stuff, and it's pretty cool. But Sexaholic was hilarious though. Especially the description of his friends. I was like, yo. He's like, oh, this is my friend, F Bunny.
Mm-hmm.
Why do they call him F Bunny? Oh, because he has big teeth and ears like a rabbit and a bent member, if you know what I mean.
Wow. Okay. Hilarious.
I was like,
Yeah, like I said, it was like a lot of, a lot of comics. Like I said, it's kind of really hard to do that top 5 thing. Like I said,
mhm.
especially it's that, now, like I said, like a lot of political correctness is going on. I think like
Oh
that.
yeah.
A lot of comedians that I grew up with, they wouldn't fly now. Definitely, Andrew Dice Clay would fly by now.
Oh, forget it. No, hell, no.
He was downright hilarious, but you can see how offensive it and how vulgar he was, but he was hilarious with it. Sam Kinison,
Oh yes, God rest his soul.
hilarious. I left him in Back to School. Rodney Dangerfield.
Yes, of course.
A whole bunch like the '80s was pretty much the crop of the creme de la creme of stand-up comedy for me.
No, but in terms of actors who have comedic chops, definitely for sure, Garrett Morris.
Yeah.
Oh, he's hilarious. In any role that he was in, he
Mm-hmm.
has some great one-liners that you're just
Stan
like.
from Martin. He was in Two Broke Girls.
Oh my goodness, he was hilarious.
Yeah, definitely.
He is awesome. So thank you so much for your time. I had
Thank
fun.
you for having me.
So definitely check this out, and we will see you on the next one. So tune in for Aaron Smith Can Lose podcast. He's on Anchor. He's on all the podcasting platforms. Just type his name and look him up. It is worth a listen. And also, he's doing comedy again. By the time this show airs, the show might be over, but definitely check it out on his YouTube channel, which is by the same name, correct?
Yes.
Yes. I'd like to thank all my guests, Marc Reign, I Am Black Rose, Ninoska Carolina, and Aaron Smith. Thank you for the pleasure of your time, your company, and for providing such great content that is worthy to be everywhere and anywhere. I hope everybody enjoyed the show, and I'll see you for the next episode of What? This is Your Spotlight. With who? Your host here, Eurydice Roman. Thank you.